Hello, everyone, and welcome to our channel, Living the Savvy Life, which is all about smart spending and looking at your finances from a lifestyle perspective. My name is Melissa Tossetti, and this is my colleague,
Kevin Gibbons.
And we want to welcome you again to our channel, and we're talking today about a very pertinent topic to our current reality, which is sheltering in place. So we are talking to you right now. It is day 30, I believe.
Something like that. I lost count.
Something like that. Day 30. I'll say day 30 of shelter in place. And one of the things that I found very fascinating over this time is what people are doing to stay sane, to keep themselves entertained, and to a great degree use this time rather than just bemoan this time. And so, Kevin, just off the bat, I'm curious what you've been doing outside of the conversations that we've been having over the last couple of weeks. But what have you been doing to stay sane?
Well, not really a whole lot, unfortunately, which might be to my grounded sanity or the fact that I am slowly losing my mind. We adopted a dog back in January, and so most of my spare time is going into taking care of her. And so, taking her for walks, especially now that they closed down a lot of the community areas, requiring a lot more one-on-one exercising.
Right, but playing with a puppy, that's not a bad way to spend your 30 days in sheltering in place.
It is definitely has a lot of benefits to it. That is quite true.
That's wonderful. One of the things that we have been doing, we actually learned, I think it was a Newsweek article about this phenomenon, I don't know what you would call it, where people are encouraging other people to put teddy bears in their windows. And the idea behind it is that people that are walking around trying to get exercise with their family members, their young family members, the idea is that they're on the lookout for bears and they're doing a bear hunt. And while I am 50 and my son is 13, I have been taking all kinds of pictures on a bear hunt. We have just been enjoying that so much. It's been such a fun and unique thing to do. And as we've been out and about on our walks, we've seen so many people get very creative about doing chalk drawings on the sidewalk, or thanking first responders in their little messages on their sidewalks. And it's just been a very fun experience.
I think that one of the real along both of our avenues is doing things that really take your mind off the overbearing presence of the situation, and we're just looking for distractions, and
right.
some harmless distractions that are entertaining, that just gives your brain and your body a moment to flush the chemical, not be so stressed at for a little bit. So anything that you can do that accomplishes that are good things.
Yeah, I agree. So this morning when we were talking about really diving deep into what we wanted to talk about today, what we wanted to share, one of the things that I wanted to do was get a better idea of what other people were doing. So Facebook is great because, we've got friends, we've got family members, a bunch of colleagues, former clients that we connect with on a regular basis, that we've been able to see peripherally what it is that they're doing. But I did a call out on Facebook a couple hours ago. It was maybe 3-4 hours ago that I did that, maybe a little bit longer, and talked about how we were going to be having this conversation during today's video session, and was curious as to specifically what people wanted to share that they were doing. And within a very short time, we had 48 comments from all different types of people, all these people that we're connected with in so many very different ways. And I thought, okay, so first of all, this topic is resonating with people. Either they want ideas or they're sharing ideas. And it was interesting because some are common and some are not quite so common. And so what I did was I compiled a list of some of the ideas. I didn't write down all of them, but I compiled 49 ideas that came from those 48 comments that I thought I would share with you. We could have a very fun conversation about. Now, the very first one comes from my niece, Chloe, She's in my hometown of Fresno, California. She's 23 and going to nursing school, which is fantastic. She's supposed to start in the fall, so my fingers are crossed that she will still be doing that. But one of the things that she's done is she's taken a bunch of black shirts and a bunch of bleach, and she's done a bit of a tie-dye project.
Okay.
Revamping her wardrobe and having some fun. And Chloe is one of the most creative dressers, and sometimes she'll have one side of her hair dyed one color and one dyed another color, and she's just having fun with it and getting creative, which I really, really love. I will tell you, one of the more common things that we've seen people write about is video games.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right? So it's the old school video games, the newer video games where people are interacting. So my son is at any given time on a headset communicating with a bunch of his friends, and they're all playing the same video games. So while that's not something that I want him doing 15 hours a day, I'm really grateful that he can go and connect with his friends. Now at night, my husband will be on the doing the same exact thing. Been seeing a lot of Netflix. Netflix got listed multiple times. Do you guys have a Netflix account? I don't even know.
We do not, but Lita has Hulu and Amazon, so it's kind of the same thing.
So same idea, streaming services, yeah.
Services on demand, yeah.
One of our favorite shows that just came out again in their new season called Nailed It, and we've just been binging on that, which is a lovely family show. I did see quite a few people mention cleaning. Mm-hmm. Some of it in the sense of cleaning because I have to, some of it in cleaning because I can, some of it in that deep down with a toothbrush and gloves, going in and cleaning, which I thought was interesting. I like cleaning and I like cleaning projects, but it would be very easy to only do that in this time. It's really, really important to balance things. Yeah. Not surprisingly, given my background and connections on Facebook, I saw a lot of people talking about doing martial arts.
Yep. Yeah.
So a lot of people we have a lot of sister schools out there, and they're connecting and teaching with their students online. I've got a lot of extended friends that have started communities with their friends and family members, teaching them and working out with them online, which I think is just, fantastic. So I know you've been joining with my husband Paul's martial arts group.
Correct.
Swinging Swords.
Correct. And it's really been interesting to see how people have made use of technology to do something that historically requires going to a gym or a studio or whatever you want to call it and working out together. And so the ability that you're seeing of everybody trying to come up with all these creative ways to still be able to pursue this particular activity, which again is very social and very swinging swords or swinging fists and body parts to each other is very intimate. So figuring out a way to do that virtually is really challenging and impressive.
One of our dear friends who is a Sifu at a school in Oakland, he put together a YouTube video where he took a pole and through a weight and some ropes, he basically tied this pole, like almost like a closet pole, up over a tree. And based on the way it is, it's tied here and here. And so when you hit it, like with another sword, he's holding a sword and you hit it with a sword, it starts to move in various ways. And he's been using that to practice. The hilarious, and I'll post a clip of that or the link to that particular YouTube video if any other martial artists out there want to check it out that are jonesing for sparring. But what is hilarious about his situation is he lives in an apartment complex or a condo complex. So he's out in the general population area doing this. Love it.
Nobody's going to bother him.
Yep. See, a lot of projects. We've got a lot of friends who are they're makers, they're builders. And so a lot of people are really using this time. My husband is, I talk about him all the time. He's a maker. I think one of the challenges that we're seeing with a lot of those people is getting material, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been a bit of an issue. Same thing with the bread makers, right? So I love that so many of my family and friends have been making bread, and they've just been getting creative. No yeast, they're using beer, right? Or figuring out how to do sourdough starters. So I feel like we're all going to emerge from this maybe about 10 pounds heavier, and I think that that's okay. Delicious time spent in sheltering in place. But one of the things that came up again and again and again is people that are actually really enjoying the process of getting creative with a lack of ingredients, or zeroing in on, hey, I've got this piece of meat in my freezer that I don't know how I came across it, but I've got it now. I want to do something unique with it. So that kind of looking at that from a creative perspective rather than oh my God, what am I going to do with this perspective? I just love that.
Yeah.
Speaks to my heart. Have you been doing any kind of creative cooking?
I don't know about too creative because we have a fairly pedestrian freezer actually, but I've certainly been cooking at home a lot more than we cook at home fairly often anyway. But I've certainly been cooking at home a lot more often. What I've actually been doing is stretching my wings and doing more baking. Usual. I don't do very much, so yeah. Made some chocolate chip cookies. I'm gonna be doing some carrot cake and some other stuff in the next couple of days, which is really funny because I'm doing all this dessert baking, and my wife Lita is diabetic, so yeah, she keeps accusing me of trying to kill her. But we have some neighbors, and I'm freezing some of it for later and stuff, so it's all to play with.
It won't go to waste. Been doing seeing a lot of people talking about walking, and I think that that's just something that we don't take the time to do anymore. I've got a couple of cousins and some friends that live in a more rural area, so I'm absolutely jealous of the walks, that they're taking. But even here, my son Dante and I, and sometimes Paul will join us, we try to get out every single day. The kid needs some sunshine. I need some sunshine. And it's been fun to see so many people out walking. And at least in our neighborhood, everybody's been so awesome about, you'll look up and you'll see somebody coming along, and organically one person will just step out into the street. Or they'll, if somebody's got a little kid or a pet, like a dog, automatically the other person just goes into the street. And there's just been this lovely courtesy that we've been seeing that just makes me have hope for the human race.
I see the same thing, and it's frustrating the heck out of my little dog because she's an incredibly social animal. She wants to meet people, she wants to meet other dogs, and she really cannot understand how we keep that the dog is right there. How come we're going away? It's right there, and she just does not understand. It's like for the first, since we got her, we have been taking her to a dog park every day, and so she for friend dogs, and when they close the dog park, she can't do that, and again.
Yeah.
She just does not understand it. So yeah, it's pretty hard on her.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Hopefully soon we'll have our dog parks back.
I'm looking for that. But yeah, we're doing the same thing. We're walking, probably twice a day just to get her a little bit of burn off a little bit of her energy.
I mentioned that on my Facebook, I have a lot of financial advisors that we work with that I'm friends with on Facebook. But over the years, a lot of clients, we work with some amazing people, and I've had such a pleasure in getting to know them after we worked with them on Facebook. And so one of our clients in Florida, Shauna, she had mentioned that she has been upping her gratitude. And I love that, right? All the things that as the world's falling apart in so many different areas, like what are the things that we can really be thankful for? And I think that is one of the greatest things that you can do in order to stay sane. The other comment that she made, though, is that she's been doing her grocery shopping on payday because Melissa told her so. It was one of the habits that we talk about, is do your grocery shopping on payday. That spoke to my heart. That made me happy. So thank you, Shauna. A lot of group video chats. This is something that I've been seeing ubiquitously, right? People all over are getting together with friends, getting together with family members. Down in Southern California, the Great Renaissance Festival was supposed to open, I think it was last weekend.
Yeah.
Not only not only is a Renaissance fair for people to come and attend and have this great experience, but I think that what people don't understand is the actors that attend those events. It's a huge social time for them. And our friend RJ, who does work that event, was down south. I guess him and a bunch of his friends got in their Renaissance costumes and did a Zoom gathering and had some drinks and got a chance to catch up, which they were going to miss otherwise. So I love that they did it in costume. I think that we need more of that in our lives. And yeah, it's just, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I'm seeing more and more of that among our friends. The same thing of just they're missing the opportunity for scheduled gatherings, and so they're putting something together. Cocktail parties, virtual dance parties. Again, people getting dressed up and if they can't get dressed up and have fun together, they're getting dressed up and having fun through the cameras. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's fantastic. One of the comments that came up that I actually really appreciated was thinking, right? How much time do we have to just marinate in our own thoughts? We don't. And I hope that that's one of those things that we can carry over as we go along. That one stuck out at me. We got, working out a lot. There's one comment on here that came along with pictures on my Facebook page, and that was from my mom. So Jeanette Faria, she has been, she's a very inexpensive, extraordinarily creative hobby in that she paints rocks, which makes it hilarious. Right. Holy crap, has she gotten good? She's been doing it for 3 or 4 years. It's a super cheap hobby, and she went from putting lipstick and eyeballs on a rock to make a ladybug, to these really almost like think of a Thomas Kincaid creating these little houses with bark roofs, and I mean it's just insane. And she's managing to stay sane. So that might be something unique that you might want to try, is to paint a rock. What else have we got here? We've got taking care of plants because it helps her to remember to take care of herself. That was my friend Val, and I loved that nurturing self-care. World building for story ideas. So our friend Craig is just one of the most creative guys that I know, and this has given him that time to think of to work on a story that he's had in his head for a very long time, and he's at the time to think through that more, put that down on paper, which I loved that. Crafternoon is something that I learned is a thing. So that idea of getting together, and I think that that's a Zoom thing as well. Is like just all that stuff in your craft closet or wherever your craft closet is, going ahead, pulling that out and doing stuff with it. A lot of Zoom meetings with writers groups.
Yeah.
Getting together. It could be very easy to shut down your creativity in this time, and to be able to feel off of other people, I think is fantastic. So again, I mentioned martial arts, right? So we have a lot of people that are our friends that are in the, I don't know what they're calling it now, the lightsabers, Star Wars and lightsabers. So they do tournaments, they build lightsabers, and my friend Ben had posted a fantastic picture of from his perspective down a lightsaber, the point of view down his lightsaber, to his 4-year-old son who had a lightsaber poised at him, and that just spoke. So a lot of lightsaber stuff. Again, I'm a sci-fi geek. I love Star Wars. I love Star Trek. That all speaks to me. Some folks that have started YouTube channels. That was the time, right? Again, got creativity. Now we've got an outlet.
A large audience.
An audience, yeah. So a lot of our friends are, Kevin, how do you explain miniature paintings and what that means and what that's all about?
Oh, tabletop gaming.
Yeah, okay. And you buy the miniatures, but you get to...
Yeah. You buy the miniatures. Some of them are cast, some of them are plastic you have to put together, and then you paint them, and then you do wargaming, and you move the miniatures around to see so that people can understand exactly what is going on with the game. Yeah.
Yep, there's a lot of that going on right now.
Henry Cavill does that.
What was that?
Henry Cavill, Superman, Witcher, he does that. I just read an article that featured him doing some of his painting and
He must have loved every second of being the Witcher, playing the Witcher, right? Being able to actually like be a character that does that kind of thing. Much more interesting than Superman. Okay, so one of my favorite things that I have seen, and a huge shout out to my friend Rachel. So Rachel works for a veterinarian and she's a vet tech. And one of the things that she's been doing is she has been dressing up her dachshund every day. Her dachshund's name is Darcy. And she's been doing a daily Darcy and posing Darcy in all these different costumes and in these different scenes. And she's gotten really good. And I look for, when I go onto Facebook, I'm looking to see what Darcy is dressed up as today. And it's just been fantastic. So again, the creativity, the chance that we have right now to do this stuff that normally would be like, oh yeah, that'd be fun, but we don't do it. One of our mutual friends, Davin Rich, owns a sword fighting school down in Santa Clara, California. And he's traveled internationally to teach classes, and he's been doing a weekly night at the tavern on Zoom. And so I don't know if they dress up or not, but definitely, you know, a tankard beer. And he said they've got folks on there from New Zealand, all across the US, Canada, Mexico that are joining them for that. So again, creative, fun. One of the things that has really, I've seen again and again and again, and I got to just do a shout out to our mutual friend May and our mutual friend Angelica, who have been spending from the very first day all of their time sewing masks for first responders.
I know a lot of people that are doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, just that's huge. If my sewing skills were any better, I would consider doing that. It's just, there's not enough. I don't think anybody would want to wear anything that I would definitely not be saving lives with my sewing skills. So all I can do is support and cheer them on. My friend Rosemary had a great thing. She and her husband, Bob, always had just such fantastic times together. But they found old episodes of Fantasy Island on Crackle TV, and they've been watching while drinking Mai Tais.
Probably the only way to do it.
The only way to do it. I can't imagine how that show could not have aged well. I would imagine. I think like watching The $6 Million Man right now. It was like, as a kid, it was just so much fun, but at now it would be, and I don't want them to remake it either. So what they did with Fantasy Island, but yeah, we'll just go past that. My sister-in-law, I just love this. She posted on there, she said that she's been driving her spouse and her children crazy, belting out Disney songs and show tunes at the top of her lung and having spontaneous dance parties. And then actually another old friend of ours connected, and I guess Disney is doing a sing-along tonight. And unfortunately, by the time that we film this, it's going to be too late, but maybe they're going to be doing it again. So I think it's on actual regular TV that Disney is doing this big sing-along. And that's a lot of sing-alongs. My friend Mary in Seattle, I guess her and her neighbors do a 6 o'clock sings with all the neighbors. And I can't sing to save my life, but I just love that. So are any of your neighbors singing?
Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of. I have a neighbor who plays the drums, but he's been playing the drums for years. So
okay. Do you have Howling at the Moon in your neighborhood?
No, don't have that one.
Yeah, so apparently it must be a Redwood City thing. At 8 o'clock, there's Howling at the Moon. So I have not heard it, but I have not done that. So my sister-in-law, Gina, also said that she's just trying not to eat anything. She's trying not to eat everything nailed down, which I think is all right. It's all that bread baking and cookies. What have we got? We've got, our friend Pat in Visalia, who has been grocery shopping for those who can't.
Oh.
Which I think is incredible. Our friend Sean is attending PTA meetings via Zoom, and that just kind of made me happy and sad all at the same time. We talked about walks. Oh, Dungeons and Dragons is a big one that kept coming up again and again. And actually, Paul, my husband Paul, has been, well, you know Paul, he's been teaching Dante how to play, and which he's had to do for ages.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, yeah. A couple more we've got here. Working out, I already talked about. Oh, I love this one. My friend CJ took the screen off the window in her upstairs bathroom so they could climb onto the roof and sunbathe.
That's good, especially as the season turns. Yes.
Yeah, warmer, nice. Yeah, I thought that was fantastic. Our friend Tiffany, she is a musician and she's been listening to and playing more medieval music, which is very unique. In fact, she posted a little video of her playing a while ago. We've noticed, we've known Tiffany since she was in high school, and she's a first responder. She's a fireman now. And I forgot all about the fact that she could play and she's so talented. So that was kind of cool too for her, sharing that on Facebook. Our friend Joyce in Fresno, she lives in an 8-plex complex. And I guess at a certain time every day, they all go out and they have drinks together, distanced apart.
Yeah, sitting all separated out. Yeah, yeah. I've seen other people do that. Yeah, not in my neighborhood, but I've seen it on social media. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of playing cards. A lot of our friends down, Brian and Christy down in Pasadena. Are they Pasadena or Burbank? They're somewhere down there. No disrespect to either of those cities. They actually get together on their porch and they'll hang out on their porch, and their neighbors will put a blanket down on their lawn. And they'll interact 10 feet apart and just have a chance to be social without, you know, breaking the shelter-in-place order, which I love as well. They've been playing a lot of cards like we do. Paul and I have been playing gin rummy for like 18 years longer than the shelter-in-place order. It's something we do almost every single weekend. Have some cocktails, play gin rummy, listen to music. So we've been prepping for this forever. Do you guys play a lot of cards too, don't you?
We do. We do. Probably once every weekend or every other weekend. Yeah, and it's really funny because it goes in spurts. Lita has a lot more experience because of all of her time in the military playing cards.
Sailor.
But, oh yeah. But we'll go on cases where we'll play like five or six games in an evening, and I'll win 4 of them, and then the next weekend she'll win 4 or 5, and it's very rare that it'll actually be evenly split. One person just creams the other person.
Oh yeah, same with us. And for months, one of us will dominate for months. Right now I'm dominating, and that was a transition actually because he was dominating just a couple of weeks ago. But admittedly, we are playing a lot more cards. Like, we're playing cards in the middle of the week, which we never did before. It feels very rebellious. So talking about new recipes already, a lot of killing zombies. So going back to the video game stuff. So a lot of that. Our friend Jana she talked about extra time with her quarantine. I'll talk about Jana in a second. And then the last one, again, a huge shout out. Our friend Barbara she's a home health nurse, and she has been giving hope and washing hands. She just is in people's homes and is just, you know, that's her job. And again, to her and to all the first responders, just absolutely so grateful for all of that. So that's the 49 list, but I have a couple of props. Can I just pull those out real quick?
Sure.
For some more ideas? So I posted, I just want to talk a little bit about some of the other stuff that we've been doing as a family. I posted about 3 weeks ago that I am a mad crazy fan of the Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company. Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company right there. And they have, if you are a first-time gardener and never done any kind of gardening before, please buy seeds from this company because they're so good. They're so prolific. We have just the best of luck. And I posted about that on Facebook, like I said, a couple weeks ago. And one of the coaches from our martial arts school, she sent me an email, or we were corresponding, and she said, I have to thank you because she ordered seeds for her and her daughter, Orly. Orly's, I think, 3 now. And the seeds came from Baker Creek, and they just, I mean, almost within like 6-7 days, they had seedlings. And so they've got this garden. She said they're going to have so many tomato plants because, again, their seeds are so good. So I've been seeing so much gardening, and that makes me so very, very happy. But regarding the gardening thing that I think that is kind of fun, because there's a lot of people when it comes to gardening that they're afraid to, or they can't get the supplies they need. And so there's other things you can do. So for example, this is a lemon tree that I have grown from a lemon seed. Like I had a lemon and I took the seed out and I grew the tree. This is, I don't have the date on it. This is probably maybe 2.5 months old. So stick a lemon in the ground, lemon seed in the ground, right? Have some fun with that. This is, you can see this is lavender that I'm propagating from my lavender plants in the front yard. I just clipped off the top, shoved them in the ground, or shoved them in this little bucket of soil, and have, you know, again, the idea is that you can just have some fun with what you've got around. You don't need any elaborate things with gardening. This one is, it's almost taller than me now. I'm so excited about it. This is a piece of ginger from the grocery store.
Oh, wow.
And I grew it, I stuck it in here, I think about 3 months ago. And what it'll do is I'll transplant it when it gets a little bit warmer, and it'll go and go and go. And then come the fall, I'll harvest it, save a little bit, and plant it again. And I actually recently learned how to ground ginger. So I can't wait to make gingerbread cookies in December with my homemade ground ginger. So again, just because I had the fun and the props I wanted to show you, this is a Baker Creek tomato plant. So excited. Again, this one's probably about, well, I think I planted this right before President's Day weekend. But the one I was most excited about, and going back to talking about my friend Jana. So Jana lives, we're in the same neighborhood, but she's about a mile from me. And I was so excited to do this. I took the sister setup to this. So this is Morning Glories, and these are seeds that I saved from my Morning Glory plant last year. And I had been growing these for a couple months. And what I did was we walked over to Jana's house and we left this on her doorstep with a little note that said, good morning, comma, Glory. She's a big pun person. And then we left. We didn't say anything. We just left it on her doorstep. And about 6 hours later, I get this text saying, oh my God, thank you so much. I got more out of doing that for Jana than I think that I have out of anything else that we had done. There was something about that, giving that. And of course, you know, I tried to do right by, you know, not spreading germs to her or anything like that. But there was something about that sneaking in and that giving that I just absolutely loved. So I'm surrounded now because I put the plants in all different areas on my desk and they're surrounding me. You can see the ginger plant right there. Anyway, so fun with props. So, you know, go out, do something creative. Let us know, you know, be curious if you're watching this down in the comments. And we don't need to be in a shelter-in-place order to get creative like this, right? We need the time, but that's another video. Yeah. Anything else you want to add to it, Kevin?
I don't think so. I think you've pretty well covered it. Okay,
well, and that's admittedly, but thank you for letting me play show and tell. All right, so just again, our channel, Living the Savvy Life, we are all about smart spending and looking at personal finance from a lifestyle perspective. And if you liked what we covered today, please go ahead and like and subscribe. And write, again, your comments down below. We would love to hear what you've been doing to stay sane in this shelter-in-place time period. And actually, Kevin, real quick, do you want to talk about how they can check out more material from us?
Oh, well, sure. Again, on the website, on the YouTube, we have all the videos listed there. You can also go to our website, livingthesavvylife.com, and we have articles posted there, links to all the different articles and video page as well. And you can find us on most of the social networks. Yep, that's it. All right, everybody, thank you so very much for joining us. See you later. Thank you.